this video, I'll be discussing an important topic for the licensure examination for teachers, which is taxation. Taxation is a fundamental concept not only in economics and government but also in understanding how public services and national development are funded. This topic often appears in the LET or the licensure examination for teachers under general education, particularly in social science and economics related concepts. And by the end of this video, you should be able to define taxation and taxes, identify the types of taxation, explain the theories and purposes of taxation, and to understand taxation in the Philippines, particularly under the Train Law. And also recall the principles of sound tax system, which are frequently asked in the LET or the licensure examination. For this video, we will cover the basic concepts of taxation and taxes, types of taxation and income tax comparisons, theories and purposes of taxation, Philippine taxation under Republic Act No. 10963 or the Train Law, principle of a sound tax system. Now, let us begin with the definition of taxation. What is taxation? Taxation refers to the compulsory levels imposed by governments on their citizens. These levels have existed since ancient times and serve as a fundamental mechanism to fund public services and infrastructure such as education, health care, roads, and public safety. Taxation is also defined as the inherent power of the state to demand contribution for public purposes. This means that the government has the authority to collect taxes to support its functions. Now, let us define taxes. What is taxes? Taxes are the enforced proportional contributions from person and property, leveled by the law-making body of the state by virtue of its sovereignty, for the support of the government and all public needs. These are the common exam questions asked you to differentiate taxation and taxes. Taxation is the process of power, while taxes are the amount of contribution collected. So taxation is the process of power, while the taxes are the amount of contribution collected. There are several types of taxation, and these are important to memorize for the LET. First, income tax. Governments impose income tax on financial income generated by all entities within their jurisdiction, including individuals and businesses. Imposed on financial income earned by individuals and businesses. Second, corporate tax. This type of tax is imposed on the profit of a business. A tax imposed on the profit of a business. Third, capital gain tax. A tax on capital gains is imposed on any capital gains or profit made by people or businesses from the sale of certain assets, including stocks, bonds, or real estate. A tax on profit from the sale of assets such as stocks, bonds, or real estate. Fourth is property tax. A property tax is assessed by a local government and paid for by the owner of a property. This tax is calculated based on property and land values. It's assessed by the local government and paid by property owners based on land or property value. Fifth, inheritance tax. A tax imposed on individuals who inherit the estate of a deceased person. Sixth, sales tax. A consumption tax imposed by a government on the sale of goods and services. This can take the form of value-added tax or the VAT, a goods and services tax or GST, a state or provincial sales tax, or an exercise tax. A consumption tax imposed on the sales of goods and services, such as VAT, GST, or exercise tax. And as of 2024, the countries with the highest marginalized income tax rate include Belgium, 79.5%, Finland, 66.75%, Portugal, 64%, United Kingdom, 63.25%, Switzerland, 59.7%, Aruba, 58.95%, Estonia, 58.4%, Denmark, 57.11%, Japan and Australia, 55%. On the other hand, countries with zero income tax include Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Oman, Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, Bahamas, Bermuda, Cayman Island. This country often rely on oil exports, tourism, or high sales and corporate taxes instead of income tax. There are three major theories of taxation. 1. Necessity theory taxes. Necessity tax theory. These taxes are necessary because the government needs funds. Number 2. Lifeblood theory. Taxation is the lifeblood of the government. Without taxes, the government cannot function. Number 3. Benefit receive theory. This follows the symbiotic relationship doctrine. Subject should pay taxes for government services received. These services are necessary for the subjects to enjoy the benefits of an organized society. Citizens should pay taxes in exchange for services received from the government. And the lifeblood theory is frequently asked in the licensure examination. And now there are primary purposes. Is to provide funds to promote the general welfare and protection of citizens. Secondary purposes is to protect local industries through customs duties and also reduce inequality through progressive taxation and also control inflation or depression and also promote industries through tax incentives and exemption. The Public Act Number 10963, or the Tax Reform for Acceleration and Inclusion, or the TRAIN Law, amended the National Internal Revenue Code of 1997. The major taxes under Philippine taxation include: 1. Capital gain tax is a tax imposed on the gains presumed to have been realized by the seller from the sale, exchange, or other disposition of assets located in the Philippines. Number 2. Documentary stamp is a tax on documents, instruments, loan agreements, and paper evidencing the acceptance, assignment, sale, or property incident theory. Number 3. Donor's tax is a tax on a donation or gift and is imposed on the gracious who transfers property between two or more persons who are living at the time of the transfer. Number 4. Estate tax is a tax on the right of the deceased person to transmit his or her estate to his or her lawful heirs and beneficiary at the time of death and ascertain the transfer, which are made by law or equivalent testamentary disposition. Number 5. Percentage tax is a business tax imposed on person or entities who sell or lease goods, properties, or services in the course of trade or business, whose gross annual sales less or received do not exceed a certain sharehold and are not VAT registered. Number 6. Value added tax is a business tax imposed and collected from the seller in the course of trade or business on every sale of properties or the real or personal, lease of goods or properties of real or personal, or vendors of services. It is an indirect tax, thus it can be passed on the buyer. Number 7. Income tax is an income tax imposed on all yearly profits arising from property, profession, trades, or offices, or as a tax on a person's income and profits. Number 8. Withholding tax is a tax withheld from individuals receiving purely compensation income. In the lead focus or the licensure examination focused. Know the basic definition of each tax, not computation. There are principles of a sound tax system. 1. Fiscal adequacy. Sources of revenue should be sufficient to meet the demands of public examples. Revenue should be sufficient to meet public needs. Number 2. Equality or justice. Tax burdens should be proportionate to the taxpayer's ability to pay. Taxes should be based on the ability to pay. Number 2. Administrative feasibility. Tax law should be capable of convenient, just, and effective administration. Tax laws should be easy and efficient to administer. Let us now apply this concept to real life and classroom situation. For example, when teachers receive their monthly salary, or you received your monthly salary, a proportion is deducted as withholding tax. This an application of income tax. In the classroom, teachers can explain taxation by relating it to, or you can explain it to your students by relating it to school facilities funded by government taxes, and also free textbooks and classrooms supported by public funds. And as a future educators, understanding taxation help us explain citizenship responsibilities and good governance to learners. To summarize all, taxation is the power of the state, and taxes are the contribution. And here are the various types of taxes, such as income, corporate, and sales tax. The lifeblood theory emphasizes importance of taxes, and the Train law governs modern Philippine taxation. A sound tax system follows fiscal adequacy, equality, and administrative feasibility. And for the licensure examination competency, to focus on definition, theories of taxation, principles of sound tax system, and for further study, you may refer to, or you may go to the references of Let Review books on economics, the National Internal Revenue Code, and the official BIR and government website. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope this discussion helped you better understand taxation and its importance, especially for the licensure examination for teachers. Keep reviewing these key concepts, and I'm confident that with consistent practice, you'll do great in the LAT or the licensure examination for teachers. If you have question or clarification, just don't hesitate. Thank you and good luck, future teachers. Have a great day.